we're looking at the concept of reservations, right? Reservations is a concept which is given under the category of right to equality. So you have to be very sure that the concept of reservations is given under the category of right to equality. Reservation is also sometimes understood by its alternate name, which is known as affirmative action. Right to equality, these right to equality are the rights which are given from Article 14 to Article 18 of the Constitution. Right? Second thing we have to understand importantly about reservations is that the special reservation, the special kind of equality under which reservations have been given is known as the equal protection of the laws. Right? Equal protection of the laws. So Article 14 of the Constitution talks about two kinds of equalities: equality before the law and equal protection of the laws. It has to be very clearly understood. Again, I'm repeating it with a lot of emphasis, that equal protection of the laws is exactly the kind of equality under which reservations are given. Reservations are not given under equality before law. If a question comes to you, please pay attention to what I'm saying. Try to note it as fast as you can in any way format. If a question comes to you that under which of the following concepts of equality is reservations or affirmative actions going to be permissible, the answer is equality, equal protection of the laws, not equality before law. Equality before law does not allow for any kind of reservations. It is equal protection of the laws which allows for a kind of affirmative action reservation. Equal protection of the laws is the logic behind reservation. It was Dr. Ambedkar who borrowed the concept of equality, equal protection of the law from the American Constitution, right? So the origin of the concept of equal protection of the laws is from the American Constitution, whereas equality before the law is originated from the British Constitution. Do we understand? Okay. Third aspect of reservations. Reservations are given in this kind of a categorization. Reservations to create equality of status are given under Article 15, and reservations to create equality of opportunity are given under Article 16. Okay, please take a very good note of it. If you give reservations to equality of status, they are given under Article 15. If you talk about reservations for equality of opportunity, they are given under Article 16 of the Constitution. Therefore, the way that this is in a way divided is very simple, that reservations which are required to create equality in the mind of the people about the status, about their own status in the society. When I use the term status, I mean ahoda, social respect in the society. Ambedkar understood very clearly that the best way that a people can be respected in the society, can gain respect in the society which does not respect them, is by providing them education. So, right, so reservations are provided in educational institutions under Article 15. And when we talk about educational institutions, reservations are provided both for public educational institutions and private, meaning it is either a public educational institution which is funded by the state in whole or in part, or a private educational institution, right? This is basically what Article 16, Article 15 says. In Article 16 of the Constitution talks about what is known as reservations in the term which is used is offices under the state. Offices under the state. The definition of state in this category is as defined under Article 12 of the Constitution. Okay, so do we understand this part? Just take a look at this very simply. We're talking about the subject of reservations. Reservations is also known as affirmative action, right? Reservations as a provision in the Constitution is created under right to equality, 14 to 18. Okay, the category of right, fundamental right, under which reservations as a concept has been created is called right to equality. Second, reservations are given under the category of equality known as equal protection of the laws, not equality before law. Equality before law does not allow for the concept of reservation. Equal protection of the laws is the concept that allows for the idea of reservation. Equality of status given under Article 15 is talking about educational institutions, reservations in educational institutions, both public and private. And equality of opportunity given under Article 16 talks about reservations in offices under the state. Okay, so only for public, or what you can say, state funded organizations. You have, for example, any kind of a job that is being taken under the state meaning what is given under Article 12 of the Constitution, which includes the Parliament of India, the Government of India, the state legislature and the state executive. This is what is given under what you can call Article 12 of the state, right? And then you have, let's say, the next thing is that seeking reservations is not a fundamental right. Just because it is mentioned in part 3 of the Constitution doesn't mean that reservations are a fundamental right. Seeking reservations is not a fundamental right. Along with this, what is to also be remembered is that cancelling or getting reservations cancelled is also not a fundamental right. You can neither file a writ petition or a Article 12 review saying that reservations are your fundamental right and they should be given to you, nor can you say that not having reservations is your fundamental right. So, for example, if I don't have reservations, I cannot go to the court and say that the court shall give me reservations. It is not a fundamental right. Nor can I say that others who are getting reservations should not get reservations. Getting reservations cancelled is also not my fundamental right. Okay, they are not included under fundamental rights and they enjoy an immunity from Article 19(1)(g), which talks about what you can say the right to profession, trade, occupation, employment, etc., etc. Okay, right. Okay, let's take the next thing about reservations. The categories eligible for reservations in India are scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, which are also known as socially and educationally backward classes. Please mind the fact that these are known as socially and educationally backward classes and economically weaker sections, right? The newest category in the framework of reservations is the economically weaker sections. Okay, the newest category, this was placed in the Constitution by the 103rd Constitution Amendment Act 2019. Okay, so these are questions that can be asked. By 103rd Constitution Amendment Act 2019, Article 15 Clause 6 and Article 16 Clause 6 of the Constitution created the category of economically weaker sections. Do we understand this, class? I want you to take a look at this in a very absorbed, intent manner, as if you were never to see this data again. You have to memorize this right here in the class. If you take a look at the chapter of reservation, reservations fall under the concept of equality from Article 14 to 18. The category of reservation, category of equality under which reservations fall is equal protection of the laws. Equality of status, Article 15 of the Constitution, gives reservations in educational institutions. Equality of opportunity, Article 16 of the Constitution, gives reservations under the offices of the state. Seeking reservations, not a fundamental right. Getting reservation cancelled is also not a fundamental right. Categories eligible for reservations in India are scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes and economically weaker sections. EWS, economically weaker section, is the newest category created for reservations, which is purely on economic grounds, and it was done by the 103rd Constitution Amendment Act 2019, which inserted Article 15 Clause 6 and Article 16 Clause 6 inside the Constitution. Are we clear, class? Give me some response to this. Are you getting all these facts? These facts are going to come in one way or the other as a multiple choice question. We are revising all of these facts, information basis completely again and again.